we've been excited for weeks about this next guest because it's a reunion. Gilbert and I have missed bugging him about injury reports, asking him about the starting depth chart. He's the former Chargers head coach. Now he's moved on to offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. He's also a master on the grill because I hear that his best barbecue chicken wings are incredible. He's also an expert with the smoker. We're, of course, talking about the great Anthony Lynn from McKinney, Texas. Anthony, first of all, how are you doing? And are the rumors true? Do you feel like you're the best barbecue chicken wings cooker in the NFL?
You know, I don't like to brag on myself, but I'm pretty good at it. So I just leave it at that.
Oh, come on, Anthony. I saw the Hard Knocks. You were all over those the chicken wings with the little brush. I think it was actually your wife Stacy's like a China fork, like a fancy fork. Did you ever get a brush? What was the deal with that?
All you need is a nice fork and just wrap a paper towel around it with a Band-Aid and you're good. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the way my grandfather did it. That's the way I do it. But when it comes to cooking barbecue, I'm kind of old school, you know. I do things. I like the smokers because you got to sit out there all day and cook it, you know, indirectly, and that's just how you do it, man. If you do it right.
Anthony, Gilbert was telling me you're in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I'm surprised you're not zooming from the beach. How's that vacation going?
Vacation is awesome, man. This is my second home. I don't even really call it a vacation. When I come here, everybody says welcome home. You know, so I've been over here for the last decade. Bought a place, and we love it. We love it. So every chance I get, I come over. Hell, I've done some of my meetings over here on Zoom, some of my work meetings. So it's been awesome.
Anthony, it's been a while since we last spoke. It's good to see you again and catch up. I think it's been since January. But Anthony, how's kind of life been for you? I know they didn't work out with the Chargers, but you're now with the Detroit Lions, being the OC there, you know, with Dan Campbell and all the talented players in Detroit. But was that pretty tough for you to kind of, you know, hear the Chargers say they want to part ways? And then, but was it also kind of, you know, a good thing to have a fresh start in Detroit?
You know, I think the last time I saw you, Gilbert, I was really telling all of you guys underneath my breath to go to hell. But it's all good now. It's all good. You know, it's I've had time to reflect on my 4 years in LA and things that I would do differently if I had to do it all over again, and things that we did well. You know, we did some things well. You know, we come out of there. I feel like the organization was in better shape when we left than when we got it. And so, and got a young stallion at quarterback that I absolutely love to death. Great young man. I think his intangibles are even better than his talent. But I have no regrets. You know, yeah, there's some things I would do differently if I had a chance to do it all over again. But I learned from that. I think we learn from our failures and we move on. And hopefully we get another opportunity to show that we've learned from it.
Anthony, it was your first time as a head coach when you became the head coach of the Chargers. What was your biggest takeaway from your 4 years?
Yeah, but there's a lot. You know, yeah, that's a good question, but you can take away a lot. You know, from how you build your staff to how you utilize your personnel to how you practice. Just even in the business side of things, just how we did things on the business side. There's a lot I would take away from that I think all tie into winning championships. You know, I tell people all the time, locker rooms don't win championships, organizations do. So I think I learned a lot on both sides.
When people on the show know that I'm the energy guy, so when I heard Dan Campbell's introductory press conference, I got so fired up. He said you guys are gonna be biting off kneecaps. I got excited. I know it got a little wild and it fired me up. Like I said, does he always bring that energy?
Always, man. That's Dan. Dan was tight end. Dan and Jason Witten when I coached in Dallas. Aaron Glenn was DB when I coached in Dallas. I got to know those two very well. They handled themselves like coaches as players. And so, you know, because Coach Walsh kind of picked me out and set me aside and talked to me about coaching, and it worked. I try to do the same thing with current players. You know, I just try to plant that seed. When you're done playing, this is something I think you should do. And I did that with Dan and Aaron Glenn. And to see those two come into business and just grow, you know, I had an opportunity to actually work with Aaron Glenn some in New York. You know, I watched the young man make coffee and just continue to work his way up the list. And now he's our defensive coordinator. Dan Campbell's our head coach, two great guys. And, you know, I was actually going to set this year out But when they called, I had to go because I wanted to be a part of that. I knew it was going to be something special, and the ownership is giving Dan all the support in the world. I can't say enough about Sheila and how she's handling the situation, and Brad. But it's been smooth so far, and I see it being that way throughout Dan's coaching career there.
Anthony, I think you had a couple other interviews. Is it just something where, like, you tried it, it didn't feel right, but when you saw Dan Campbell and the Detroit side, like, you had to go?
I just think, Gilbert, I've been on the sideline since I was 6 years old. I have not had a break since 6 years old, literally, every single fall. And I really had in my mind that I was going to take a gap year, man. Travel a little bit, go see some other teams and visit some of the coaches that I know and see how they're doing things. And I had made my mind to sit out this year. But then when Dan called, that changed everything. But I did go out of respect. I did go talk with a couple other coaches, and those are guys that helped me in my career on the way up. So I owe them that. But it just felt right in Detroit.
Anthony, you got a close look at Jared Goff. I know you were doing your thing with the Chargers, and it's still kind of far away, close to Mason, Thousand Oaks. But I know you're very, very well aware of Jared Goff. But it's kind of like similar path to you guys. Leaving LA, fresh start in Detroit. I know Jared Goff has some ups and downs the last couple of years, but so far, how's it been working with Jared Goff? And does he look like that Super Bowl quarterback, from a couple of years ago?
It's been an absolute pleasure to work with Jared. Just giving him some input and just watching him grow as a leader on our football team. That's been really cool to see. But he's had some really good practices, and now hopefully that carries over into training camp and the regular season. But I'm very pleased with what I've seen so far. And like you said, Gibbon, I watched the guy for 2 years, up close in person in practice, and I was always impressed with his own talent. So.
Yeah, people kind of forget that he's still a very young quarterback. He was number one pick not too long ago,
Right.
So plenty of time for Jared Goff. But sticking to the theme of young quarterbacks, you mentioned the Stallion, Justin Herbert. Just kind of take us back to that year, because there was a lot unknown about Justin Herbert. You heard all the the draft pundits say that maybe Herbert's not the guy, but I think you knew right away this guy had all the physical tools. But how was it watching him develop on a weekly basis? And was there kind of a story or point in time your thoughts and theories about Herbert were confirmed that this guy's a real deal?
I love Justin coming out. He was that guy, and Tom Telesco loved him. But we did a lot of work on Justin. And just I did not want to expose him too soon. I've seen what that has done to some top picks in especially at the quarterback position, and how sometimes those young men never recover because they're living in a day and age where media is just right there. I mean, social media and things spread, and some of these kids are just not mentally strong enough to overcome a lot of the negative vibes that they get early in their careers. I think that's pretty obvious when you look at the quarterback position. But Justin had to go in and play. We didn't have any choice. Tyrod got his lungs punctured. Justin found out as the ball is literally in the air, I'm grabbing Justin saying, "You're the starter." And the way he handled that situation, I tell you what, he couldn't have handled it any better. And there's a lot of things that went on that you guys never know about behind the scenes, but that's part of him being a young rookie quarterback. But overall, the way he handled that situation, I could not have asked for him to do it any better. And I just think that's going to be a great foundation for him moving forward.
All right, Gilbert, let's take a break from football questions. I want to get back to food questions with Anthony. I recently got a smoker myself. I saw what Justin was doing with that victory brisket and everything. So I've done a couple of briskets, but I still have a lot to learn. Can you share any tips? I know you smoke sometimes for 14 hours, play dominoes, have a couple of pops. That's how you do it back in Dallas. I know that because you said that on Hard Knocks, but you got any tips for me, Anthony?
Well, if you flavor, I think sometimes some beef all taste the same, but if you want your beef to have a certain flavor, then I think you need to think about what type of wood chips you're going to use. You're going to use hickory, mesquite, or whatnot, and then what are you going to soak that wood in? I would recommend soaking that wood in something. If I want my barbecue to taste a little sweeter, because I do have a little bit of a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
So I might soak my wood chips in grape soda for 24 hours. And then I put them on the burner. You know what I'm saying? Or I might soak them in strawberry. Depends on what type of vibe I'm feeling, what type of flavor I want, So you can change, the taste of your meat just a little bit. It'd be different from someone else's. just by how you soak the wood chip, you know.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out. That sounds very interesting. I see, Gilbert. I'm learning on here. That's the great part about this. Anthony, you as an assistant coach for the Cowboys, you sustained a life changing car accident, and during the Super Bowl in 2020, you met the first responders that had saved your life. What was that moment like for you after so many years getting to meet them? It was about 16 years later. What was that moment like for you?
Well, I got hijacked. I didn't meet them. I got hijacked. Okay, I was doing a commercial for first responders, and I had no idea these people that saved my life years ago that I've never met were there. And at the end of my speech, they kind of stepped out one by one and explained to me all the details of that evening and what happened and what they did to save my life. And it was just overwhelming for me. You know, after a while, I kind of cracked. But I tell you, we have a great relationship. I talk to those guys now to this day, and young lady, and you know, I can't thank them enough. I've always been a big fan of first responders, even before they saved my life. But after they saved my life, I've always been involved, and even now, just you know, I just think they're the real heroes. You know, I look at us sometimes as coaches and athletes. So many times people look up to us for what we do, but I mean, they save lives every single day, and they lose lives every single day. It's just to me that those are the heroes.
Anthony, they really remember all the details after so many years. Was that must have been
Everything.
kind of a crazy feeling?
You know what? They were so specific in the details that it was like it was weird. It was like they all said they would never forget that night. I don't know why that night they will never forget because they do this all the time. But they just said they never forget that night. And one of the officers went into the breathing patterns that I had and how I was hurting to breathe and how he tilted my head to help and how I was choking on my blood. I mean, it was just on and on. And I just like, wow. I even met them back at the site. I had never been back to the site, you know, after that
Wow.
accident. And so I met them at the site, and we actually ate at a restaurant close by. But it was crazy to see where I got hit and where I landed. When they showed me that, that was crazy, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's about to be 16 years. I read up on your story. It's crazy, and I think was it Todd Haley that helped you out?
Ty Haley was there with me that night. Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys have a close friendship. I was reading, but Anthony, it's kind of cool to see what you've done the last 16 years, especially on and off the field. We saw what you did with the players when it came to the protests in LA. I really kind of read up on your the Lynn Family Foundation, you know, the school in Tanzania. I guess kind of a two-part question because I wrote a story about you last year about the foundation, and I got to know about Hugs Cafe in your hometown, McKinney, Texas, and how your I think your niece Marty is a part of it. So she sounds like a great person. First of all, how's Marty doing? How's Hugs Cafe? And give us an update on Tanzania.
Marty's doing great. Marty's actually on vacation with me. So
Really?
yeah, she's doing great. But Hugs Cafe is growing. It started out, you know, you say my hometown, McKinney. I was actually born in McKinney. My hometown is Salina. So if anyone from Salina hear you say that, they're gonna be
Sorry about that.
You've already made enemies, Gilbert.
So, but anyway, Hooks Cafe, man. It's I remember this lady. She had this idea, and she wanted me to bring Marty to her kitchen, and she wanted to train Marty to be a part of Marty's life. And I talked to her about her plan and what she wanted to do, and I just didn't see it working, man. I just say, you know, you got these kids with mentally health issues serving food and cooking food and things like that, and I don't know. I was really shallow minded about this, but I'm glad she continued and she listened to herself, believed in herself, and did what she had to do. Because now they're about to open like 6 of these right now, and they're some of the most popular restaurants in Texas, in North Texas. So she had a vision, she had a plan, she saw it through. People doubted her, and she did what she had to do. And I'm so happy to be a part of her organization. I'm going to support her 100% as long as I can. But what they do is they take young people, young adults with mental health issues. They train them to live in this world and to work, and they get a check. You know, they're not getting something free. They're working for it, and so it's been obvious. I mean, it's been really good for Marty.
Anthony, when most people hear something about doing a good thing with people with special needs, they kind of just say, "Yeah, do your thing," and don't really doubt it. You know, did you kind of feel awkward saying like, "Hey, this might not work"?
You know, I was just being honest. You know, we talking about someone with special needs serving me food, and sometimes they can't control this and that. And I'm watching these kids, I'm looking at these kids, I'm walking in a parade with these kids, helping them raise money as I'm telling her this, so I was always on board, but I was skeptical. And she proved me wrong, and I'm glad she did, because it is one of the best organizations I've ever been a part of.
And have you gone back to the school in Tanzania?
You know what? Because of the pandemic, last couple of years, I haven't been able to go, and it's been eating me up because it took so much time and effort to get that school off the ground up and running, because getting those kids out of the workforce and getting them in school was hard, because a lot of the parents over there felt like, well, who's going to do the work, if the kids are all at school? And so I didn't want them to revert back, but I get videos constantly, and the school has actually grown. So I think the playground helps. I had to get real strategic here. At a security fence, a playground. I put the playground in, and the kids go to school now. They're having fun. They're glad to be at school. They can't wait to get to school. And it was cool to see them on the swings and merry-go-rounds and slides. They'd never seen that stuff before, man. And we spent 2 days just in training, teaching them how to use the equipment, and of course, first aid in case someone got hurt or whatnot. And they jumped on those machines, and it's like they've been on them all their lives. I mean, they were rolling. So it's going good. I can't wait to get back over. I'm definitely going back over next offseason.
Wow, we kind of take that stuff for granted. You don't realize that a playground is something that not everybody has. So that's pretty cool to hear, Anthony. But I feel like I'm hogging all the questions. I know Fernand has a few more, but let me get to my biggest important question, because you're in my area, you're in my hood. I'm Puerto Vallarta. I'm technically from Nayarit, but it's nearby. My dad's from the capital, Nayarit, the Peak, and my mom's from they call it a little rancho, a little town, El Venado, Nayarit. So I know all about the beaches, and you told me that you have a favorite restaurant in Nayarit. So I'm very curious, what is that favorite restaurant?
It'd be Karen's.
Karen's?
Karen's is my favorite restaurant in Nayarit. Yep.
Is that by the beach, San Blas? I'm gonna take a guess.
It's right on the beach, brother. And
wow.
Yeah.
Is it seafood, mariscos?
It's great seafood. Great seafood.
Okay.
and Mexican food.
Okay.
Anthony, what attracted you the most about Mexico? Like what made you just want to head down there? And I mean, because I feel like a lot of people don't know about Mexico, about deep down there, Puerto Vallarta, some other places like that, Mazatlan, some of those places. What attracted you to go to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, like I said, Mike Shanahan kind of turned me on. I've never been to Mexico. Mike Shanahan comes every year, and he kind of turned me on to it. And then once I got over here, man, it's just the culture. I love the people. I love people, period. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can interact with anybody, but just here on the water, the beach, and the prices are pretty cool too. It's not the most expensive place in the world, but it can be. But I just like the culture, to be honest with you. It's the culture and the people.
Anthony, our podcast is called Compas on the Beat. Do you know what compas? You know what compas means, right?
Not really.
Oh, compas means buddy, friend, like bro. Like that's what compas in Spanish. That's what it means.
That's slang for amigo, huh?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, it's slang for amigo. So next year, and I mean, if you ever want to throw that out there, people will love it. You say compa, and everybody's like, "Oh, wow, okay, let's do it."
Say it slowly.
Compa. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm gonna use day.
There you go.
Day.
There you go. And obviously, Anthony, we want to let you know you're a compa to us. We loved having you on the show. Thank you so much for jumping on Compas on the Beat. Anything you want to say before you head back to the beach? I know you have a busy schedule today on the beach.
Now, when I'm talking to this has been fun. This has been a great podcast. Great seeing you guys again. But you're still the damn media, so I'm done.
All right.